Hey guys, it's Danny. Happy New Year! First and foremost, I wish you all a fantastic and healthy 2021. This is actually the first video of 2021 and I thought to take it easy after the holidays, getting back into the routine with a little tour of my so-called IKEA greenhouse cabinet, which is none other than the Milsbo IKEA cabinet. And from all the pieces of furniture that I have from IKEA, and you guys know I have a lot of them, this has to be the most expensive one, but it really is a thing of beauty and is really popular with many houseplants enthusiasts. I've never seen one with orchids, but hey, there we go. Today we're gonna take a tour of my personal cabinet. These types of videos seem to be very trendy on YouTube. I like them a lot. I get a lot of inspiration from them. So here is my tour. I'm gonna show you what I placed in my cabinet, talk a little bit about the light and, all of these details, and show you a little bit how the plants are doing, because I've actually had them in the cabinet for a couple of months already. So they did have time to react, and I have to say things are pretty good. I'm surprised. I'm really happy with this thing. All right, so before we start, don't forget to give this video a like if you end up enjoying it, and why not subscribe? I post 3 times a week. Alright, so first off, I do actually have a different video on assembling this piece of furniture and installing the lights and all of that. I posted it on my second channel, which is MissOrchidGirl Houseplants, because initially this cabinet was meant for the non-pet friendly plants that I have, and then I decided that it's too pretty to waste it on them. I know. I just like orchids more. What can I do? I thought it would be a great home for my summer bloomer orchids, and I think Maya agrees. But anyway, if you'd like to see how I assembled it, do check the description below. I'll link it to that video. Today I'm just gonna show you what I have inside. So let's just take a little look-see on the first shelf. And P.S. all that I have here are summer blooming Phalaenopsis, the Polychilus genus, and their hybrids, the novelty hybrids, simply because this enclosure tends to stay rather warm. I have a little thermometer there. I will show you. Currently in my grow space, I have 19 degrees Celsius, and inside here I have 22.2. So you can see it stays a little warmer than my plant room, which is good for these orchids because they are warm growers and they have continuous growth. They don't need that cool down in order to initiate flowers like the typical Phalaenopsis from the flower shops, which means that this environment is a lot more proper, let's say, for their development and growth, and it shows. I'm gonna show you. It absolutely shows. They prefer this to the grow space. Anyway, so let's get in a little closer and see who we have here. By the way, Joey is in a super cuddly mood today, so she's whispering sweet nothings to Maya. Well, whisper is relative, you can definitely hear her. And it's always very hard to film because I always need to edit her out. So throughout this video, you might hear her sing. I will just let her do her thing. I hope it's not gonna bother you too much. But yeah, that's what's going on. Joey is just very cuddly today. Oh, there's always worried. And so distracting. Let's get back to what we were doing. All right, so as I was saying, this is an enclosure for the summer blooming Phalaenopsis, but you will see a few exceptions. I just put them here because they will probably not bloom this year, like the Schilleriana crossed with the Stuartiana. Not a summer bloomer, but she's young, not gonna bloom this year. It is a better idea for it to be warm, so it just grows faster. So apart from a few exceptions, there are only summer bloomers, orchids that enjoy heat and warmth and all of that good stuff. So here we have the Palace Reef. I got this one last year and it didn't want to grow all that fast. Couple of months here and I already have a flower spike, which is active. It's growing. It's not waiting around for summer, at least for the moment. Typically, the summer bloomers take a little bit of a break, quote unquote, in the winter time for me, vegetatively and flowering wise. So this is new. Here in the back we have the Bellina, which is not growing any flower spike in PS. You might see an ant or two. I have to spray a particular plug. Yeah, they're coming in through the plug, but anyway, they're attracted by the sweet sap. Now, the Bellina is growing vegetatively really fast in here, which again, pretty unlike her. Definitely this has an impact. Here we have the Bastiani, which is a newer one. It is growing. It's producing roots at the moment. In the back, we have the Milso King 997, which I do believe was the cute one. It's producing 2 flower spikes at the moment and a leaf, all of them at the same time. Very good growth on this one. And here we have the Sogo grape, which typically blooms around this time of the year. This is not surprising, but take a look at this. The Bashi Red Sun, not only is it blooming, but it also is producing 2 flower spikes. You can see both of them there, which typically, again, doesn't really happen in the growth space. I'm not gonna repeat it. All of these guys are active at the moment, which is not their typical norm, and it's all due to this enclosure. And here, surprise, surprise, oh, I'm so happy about this one. This is the Penang Girl. No, wait. That's one of its parents. It's the Dragon Tree Eagle. Okay, this one I actually ordered a couple of years ago. It was your choice. You guys decided I should buy this one. And it actually didn't grow that well ever since then, but here it's growing so nice. Plus, yeah, we have a flower spike and a bud developing here, which is awesome. And while the leaf formed in summertime and kind of matured recently, the flower spike grew exclusively as it was in this enclosure. So I am 100% positive it's the cabinet's fault. And P.S. if you see my nail polish changing color or being patchy, quote unquote, throughout this video, yeah, it's normal. It's a thermal polish that I really like. Look at this. The edge is darker. So depending on the temperature of my fingers, it actually changes a little bit. How cute is that? All right, second shelf, pretty much the same story. All of them are polychilous hybrids, at least, if not species. I do have a few species. And here, again, same story. Things are just growing like mental. So in the back here, we have the Gigantea, and look how large this leaf matured. It's still growing roots, still growing actively. No flower spike at the moment, but you know, fingers crossed. It might actually happen this year. Here we have the Bronze Maiden, and look, just look at the flower spike. It's going to be a long one. This is actually a little bit of a cheat. It is a polychilous hybrid, but it does have the Schilleriana, which is not a summer bloomer. So I'm not actually yet sure if this one is a summer bloomer or not. It might actually have traits from both parents, but currently I have her here and she's really enjoying it. Here I have a newer one. This is the Special Ruby, and it is actively growing these 2 flower spikes, this one and this one. I am hoping it will bloom because this one will have amazing flowers if it will look like the picture in the listing. And another thing that I really like about these 2 orchids, look at the planters. They're actually from Amazon. I really like them. I will try to add them to my Amazon store, so you should be able to find them in the description as you're watching this. I don't remember if I added them already, but yeah, they're from Amazon. It's called Kitchen Craft or something of the sorts. Here we have another Gigantea hybrid. It's called the Gigabelle. It's not actually doing anything at the moment. These are newer orchids and I feel like they're a little tiny. Being that they're Giganteas or Gigantea hybrids, they will become huge, humongous. So this will not be their forever home, but for now, they're okay. In the back, what do we have here? Oh, it's the Hieroglyphica. It has a flower spike which just started to grow. Do you see the tip? It's just slightly greener than the rest. It means it's active, so that's great. Here we have the Zhengmin Muscadine Boihar growing a brand new leaf. And I think the flower spikes are starting to get active as well. And here we have the Mituo Sun. This, oh, I was about to say it's not active, but it is. I just noticed a flower spike right here. Do you see it? I didn't notice this until now, as well as a new low leaf. So everything is actually growing pretty great. Even this one. This one has never excelled for me. This is an older one. It's the Brother Glory. Yeah. I don't know, maybe there's something wrong with it. It never excelled at all. But ever since I put it here, it grew this leaf, which is a lot larger than the previous ones and the largest one it ever created. So I don't know, maybe it's gonna excel in here as well. I'm hopeful, but I do believe there's something wrong with it, sadly. Alrighty, down here, you might already notice that I have an orchid which is not a polychilous. This is the beautiful Phalaenopsis Mini Mark. I forgot the name for a second there, which is one of the most popular Phalaenopsis hybrids. It is quite unique in its coloring. It has a very, very orange lip and lots of tiny little dots on the petals and sepals. You really won't find a lot of orchids similar to this one, which is why this orchid is very, very popular. The problem is, it's not always the most vigorous thing in the world. I don't really know why. So I'm hoping that this particular individual is vigorous because I really, really want to own this orchid. Here we have a Phalaenopsis, which is quite a lot older in my collection. It's never in bloom in January. I do believe I've never had it in bloom in winter. This one is highly, highly thermosensitive in my experience, but this year it continued blooming throughout winter, which again says a lot. Oh, this is Penang Girl crossed with Violacea. And I think it would be a good idea to give you a different perspective. All right, much better. We can see in the back here because look who's in bloom. It's one of my absolute favorite Phalaenopsis that I have. This is the Zhengmin Anaconda fawn with a bloom and quite a few other flower spikes developing, also some buds developing. This one really seems to enjoy her time here. And let me just get you in even closer. Here we have my Phalaenopsis tetraspis, which is not a new orchid, continuing its blooming season on all of the flower spikes. I also see a brand new flower spike here, which is very tiny but has a bud. This is the first year this orchid continues growth and blooming throughout winter, which is amazing. Oh, and here I decided to try out something. I placed my Lepanthus orchid because in winter I actually do use my AC on heat, in the nighttime especially, and that kind of dries out the air a little bit. So this one didn't appreciate it. Even though it grew okay in the summer, winter was just not okay. So either it was the lack of humidity, either the temperature. This is a worm grower, by the way. Something was definitely not to its liking, so I decided to place it under a bell to keep in the humidity, and also in this cabinet to keep it warmer overall than the entirety of my grow room. So I just did this very recently. I cannot tell you if it's working or if I see effects just yet, but I will definitely keep you up to date. This one is the only non-Phalaenopsis in this cabinet, I'm just realizing. And here on the last shelf, we do have a mixture of things. This is the beautiful, Tianjin Fly Eagle. I almost forgot the name there. It has an iconic name, let's put it like that. So it's producing a brand new leaf, a brand new flower spike here, and maybe another one there. I might see another one there. So it is growing. I didn't see anything on this one yet. Lies. Actually, this one does have a flower spike. I just noticed it after I finished the video, and I promise a few days ago this little flower spike was not here. Who is this? KS Super Zebra. Oh, this is supposed to be a good one. Ever since I started to grow it under proper grow lights, the coloration improved. I will give it that. The size of the leaves improved as well, and it didn't have anything to do with fertilizer or things of the sorts because I always properly feed my orchids. I do believe it has to do with the quality of the light and the warmth that this cabinet provides. I think extended like the grow period, which, yes, it's not really a correct way of saying it because these are continuous growers. But for me, whenever I have a drop in temperature in my grow room, the continuous growers, which are worm growers, they kind of just take a little bit of a break until better weather comes along. So I can definitely see the effect of that. And P.S., I don't think I explained. The warmth actually comes from these LED lights. They do not heat up at all. They just warm up a little bit, enough to change the temperature only a few degrees. You can see I am touching this and it's absolutely fine. It's not hot at all, but it is warm, which makes the temperature in here just a little bit warmer, and it's perfect. It's ideal. Here's the surprise. Oh my goodness. This is Phalaenopsis Boni Vasquez Orchid World, actually. It's one of those orchids which has kind of always eluded me. I've always wanted it, and this one has never grown particularly well for me. I don't really know why. I have it for 3 years already or so. If not 3, then 2.5. And yeah, it does not look good, and I don't really understand why, because it does have a good root system. I treat it the same as everybody else. I feed it, all of that good stuff. So it might be something genetic, but look at this. Ever since I put it here, which again, I swear it's been 2 months, not more than that. It did start to produce a new leaf, which you can see here, and a flower spike. Holy moly, you guys, a flower spike from the Boni Vasquez. Now, if you don't know why I am fangirling over it so much, I'm gonna show you a picture. I'm gonna try to post a picture on the screen. Yeah, it's wonderful. It's amazing. I used to have a hybrid that looked very, very similar to it back in the day, 7 years ago. I lost it, sadly, to the first round of spider mites. I know spider mites are a thing of the past now, but 7 years ago, oh boy, they were the bane of my existence. I lost a lot of orchids to that infestation. So yeah, seeing this now, it brings me so much joy I cannot even describe. There in the back, we have some newer ones. That one, which is the Friday Prince, it did not look good ever since I purchased it. It might actually have some hidden issues. What to do, we'll see how that goes. I'm not putting my hopes into that particular one. And here we have a mini Phalaenopsis, which is not a summer bloomer, but I wanted to show you something really interesting. And I think I'm gonna have to hold the camera for this. Okay, so because the light that I use has a lot of reds and blues, orchids that have purple, red, indigo, or pink colored flowers pop up like mental. Look at this one. That is wild. So even something like this can look so good under these lights. But look what happens when I take it out. All of a sudden the color is just so mundane or kind of faded in a way. But when I put it here, ta-da, brilliant once more. And that is actually the case with the decorative containers as well. If I have a red, purple, pink container, you can see it looks a lot more colorful than, let's say, the green one. Although even the green one pops up a little bit. But something like that yellow in comparison really doesn't stand out. But look at the orange or the red ones. They do tend to look very good in this cabinet. Now, this is all due to the spectrum of the light that I use, which you will learn more about in the video that I will link down below in the description. Obviously, you can put whatever type of light you want in this cabinet. I wanted to go a little bit out of my comfort zone with this one and buy something that had some blue wavelengths, but it wasn't that really atrocious, in my opinion, purple that grow lights can have. And I'm sure that on camera it actually looks a little bit more pink than it is in reality. In reality, it is a very clean, pinkish, but kind of nice color. And trust me, if I say it's nice, it means something. I hate, with the utmost passion, the cool colored lights. So me saying that this one is okay means it really is okay. So I'm really enjoying the lights. We'll see how the orchids do in the long run. It's only been a couple of months. I like things so far, but you know how it is. You kind of need to wait a little bit longer. Anyway, let me now show you a few of the accessories that I have inside. And well, I did already show you those decorative containers. Many of you asked me where I find my decorative containers. I do get them from my flower shops. Sometimes they come with the orchids that I purchase and I just reuse them. IKEA has the metal ones, like that red one. They also used to have some really pretty butterfly patterned ones, like that one. I think they don't have them anymore. But all the bucket type ones that are metal, like those two, and the one in the back there, and that one which is tinier, they're all IKEA. This one is IKEA as well, and I know IKEA has multiple colors, so if you are looking for decorative containers, go to the flower shops, see what they have, go to IKEA, I'm sure you can find something. I don't generally have a specialized place where I purchase them from. Also, you might notice that some of my orchids are raised, which gives a very nice feeling of depth, and this shelf actually shows it a little better. Well, I achieved this using some sort of razors, and they're hidden. So this little wooden stand I actually found at a flower shop, and I've been looking for something like this for ages. It's not easy to find, especially where I live, but maybe where you live, you can find some cake holders or cupcake holders or something of the sorts. I didn't find anything tiny in my parts of the world, but I was lucky enough to find these at the flower shop, and I purchased a whole bunch of them. And this is how I keep some of these orchids raised. And that is about it on my IKEA greenhouse, or so-called greenhouse cabinet, Phalaenopsis edition. And before I let you guys go, let me just address something really quick. Oh my goodness, we reached 300,000 subscribers. I know, I cannot believe it either. We're actually over that when I'm recording, and we hit the milestone on the 30th of December, and I was thinking how epic would have been to hit the milestone on the 31st during New Year's. You know, obviously it didn't happen. That's too big of a coincidence, but I still wanted to say thank you so much for subscribing to my channel, for watching my videos, interacting with me. I am really happy. I never thought I would get here. And I want you guys to know that I'm absolutely enjoying this, and I have no intention of stopping. I really hope 2021 will be even better, channel-wise, content-wise. We may start to do some interesting stuff this year, hopefully. So I am excited, and to tell you a funny story, it's not really a story, it's a hypothetical discussion I was having with my boyfriend. It's a thing that sometimes crosses my mind. What are the odds of somebody famous, like an actor or an artist or somebody you like, what are the odds of them actually stumbling upon one of your videos? Probably 1 in a million, I guess. But that means there's a chance, right? I mean, who knows? Maybe they themselves or somebody close to them would like to know a little bit more about orchids. It's possible. And well, here I am being cringy on the internet. The mere thought of it makes me locate the nearest bed or couch or something and just go hide under there and never show my face again. And I can think of a few famous people that if one day I found out they knew I existed, I would definitely be ecstatic, but at the same time, I would also be terrified because I don't know which video they saw in some of my videos, you guys. Oh boy, the cringe is real, but hey, it is what it is. And yeah, I'm just gonna roll with it. So if you guys are YouTubers or streamers, or you put yourself out there, do you ever think about these things? Do you get like terrified at the idea that somebody you'd potentially like to meet or talk to one day could see your videos and think, what the heck is this even? What dark corner of the internet have I stumbled upon? I do. I think about these things sometimes, and every milestone reminds me of that. So in case anybody I would actually like to meet one day sees my videos, I hope it's a good one. I hope it's not one of the cringe ones, which sadly are a lot of them because I have 2,000 videos. But anyway, with that said, thank you guys so much for watching and for subscribing and for sticking around. I hope you enjoy my videos. I hope they make your days better and your hobby more prolific. And with that said, I think it's time to roll the outro. Subscribe to my channel for more orchid videos, tutorials, experiments, updates, and other fun orchid subjects. If you wish to support the channel, do consider becoming a member or visit the merch store linked down below in the description. You can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook. It's always nice to stay in touch there as well. And I'll see you all next time. Bye!